Hi everyone, GM. So nice to see you all. Hope you're just as excited as me for this launched event of the Web3 AI Hackathon. Woo! Please say hi in the chat. Let us know how excited you are, what you're planning on building, if you've done any hackathons with Encode Club before, if you're interested in a specific bounty, all that good stuff. We'd love to say hi to all of you and keep the chat alive. Feel free to kind of engage with each other there and you know, all that fun stuff. I'm going to get straight into it for you guys. So nice to meet you. My name is Clara. For those of you who haven't met me yet, I'm program lead at Encode Club. I've put this lovely QR code up for you guys here to make it super easy to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to share your Twitters as well in the chat if you want to. But yeah, pop on over there if you want to connect on Twitter and say hi. And if you want to see kind of what I'm up to and what Encode Club are up to as well. So a bit about the kind of situation here is that I'm actually not the program manager for this program. It's actually going to be Yasin who will be mainly in contact with all of you guys. And you'll meet him very soon, I'm sure. I am covering for him today because he's away on holiday, so he's resting and he's having a great time. But we'll be having just as good of a time here, of course, and I'm super happy to pop in and say hi to everyone. And I get to do the best part. I get to welcome everyone and do this really exciting event. So a bit about Encode Club, for those of you who don't know from before, we're an emerging tech education community. So we do a lot of events, both online and in person, in both Web3 and AI. And this is obviously kind of a merge of the two different fields. So super exciting. I'd love to know what all of your guys' background is. Are you more of a Web3 developer? Are you more AI focused? Or are you guys completely new to both kind of fields of technology? Do let us know. But what we do at Encode Club is we help developers learn, build, and forge their career path. So if you're interested in kind of helping with career advice and getting placed in a job, we do that as well. We do educational series, we do accelerators, and we obviously do hackathons as well, where you can compete. You can build some really cool projects and compete to win amazing bounties. Sorry. It's just because I read Hank's comment about his background. That's why I got a bit confused in my head. Anyway, so I've already kind of gone through all of this, but the important part here is that we have an amazing big community of trained developers in both Web 2 and Web 3. So do please pop in and say hi. We're super excited to welcome you to the community if this is your first event with us. Now, a bit more specifically about this hackathon. It will run for 4 weeks. It's centered around developing dApps that leverage the power of both Web3 and AI, as you can imagine from the name. The first 1 to 2 weeks will be workshops and kind of technical support. You're obviously welcome to start building straight away if you already have an idea, if you want to get started early on. We do recommend doing that. And then week 3 and week 4 will be solely focused on just building, and then you'll submit, and then there will be a judging period, and then we will have an amazing finale event where the top teams will pitch their projects and we will decide the winners. Now we're going to go through our amazing sponsors who are making this event possible. We have Galadriel, Filecoin, Superteam UK, Nethermind, Internet Computer, Citria, Spectral, and CoopHive. So we have some representatives from all of these teams as well who will be saying hi to you guys throughout this launch event, but do make sure to welcome them in the chat as well. We also have some community partners. We have the KCL blockchain community. We have Cambridge Blockchain Society, LSE, and LSE Blockchain Society. So I've already kind of gone through a little bit of this, but to give you a bit more detail about what's going to happen throughout the hackathon, the first things first is to register. If you haven't already, make sure to do so. That will just ensure you get all the information that you need and all the support. Second thing is you need to form a team. Now, I will actually talk a bit more about this later, so I'm not going to go into detail too much. We'll have some amazing workshops that I'll also talk about later. Then you obviously want to build your project, get support from our amazing mentors that we have present on our Discord server. And then the final thing is to submit your projects, of course. Now we have loads of different kinds of support that we will offer throughout. So do make sure to take advantage of that as much as possible. Attend the workshops. All the workshops are recorded, however, so if you can't attend one live, you can always catch up by watching the recording afterwards as well. And then on our Discord, you'll be able to interact with all of our amazing mentors and get one-on-one support. So do make sure to take advantage of that. Now for the super, super exciting part, we're going to go through the bounties and prices. And as we do so, I'm going to get the sponsors on stage to say hi to everyone and go into a bit more detail. Hi, Carl. How are you?
Hey, Clara. Thanks for having us. Thanks for hosting the event.
Thank you for joining. I'm going to move on to your slide and let you kind of take the stage and introduce your bounties.
Yes, thank you. So we're really excited to be part of the hackathon with Collateral. In the first place, as we believe firmly that Web3 Rails is the safest path to deploy large-scale AI. And Collateral is the first layer one for AI. And in short, it means that developers can now build AI apps with Solidity, which is the smart contract language, and then easily deploy or bring the AI models inference actually on chain, and then deploy the applications as decentralized AI apps. And how we like to call them is AI agents. And you can see we have introduced a bounty for the hackathon for the best on-chain AI agents built with Collateral. And in a nutshell, it means building AI programs using large language models or LLMs. For example, we support GPT-4 to then, take actions or act on behalf of the end user. And for use cases, you can think of like a personal AI clone or a digital twin. It can be like an on-chain AI money manager or a hedge fund, a AI prediction agent, or any like gaming use case suits as well. And in general, I would really encourage the hackers to be inspired and creative. We are not here to only support or work with Web3 developers or AI developers. Both are equally welcome to us. And the whole intersection of Web3 and AI is really opened up an exciting design space to build in, and there's lots to discover. So if there's any questions, want help with the ideation or just bounce some ideas, we'll make sure our team is as available as possible in the Encode Discord or Collateral Discord. And also my DMs are always open. So get awesome. In touch if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl. Yeah, I'm just going to actually send now a link to join the Encode Club Discord server. And on there, you can find, if you tag the Collateral team, you'll be able to get in contact with the relevant mentors there. And same for the other bounty sponsors. So yeah, do make sure to join it there. But thank you so much, Carl. Super excited to see what agents will be built. Awesome. Okay, we are going to then move on to the next bounty, which is from the Filecoin team. So as you can see, there's some really exciting prizes on here, and we have Jenks from the Filecoin team to introduce them. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Clara. I'm great. Thank you for having me here. My name is Jenks from Filecoin Foundation. On behalf of Protocol Labs, it's my pleasure to announce Filecoin track for this yet another amazing Encode Club hackathon. At Filecoin, we are all about using decentralized storage and verifiable storage for any applications. In particular, these days, we are trying to encourage use of AI in combination with our storage solutions. We would like to make, together with our two sets, the AI creation process more transparent, making AI more secure and also trustworthy. So with that in mind, we're encouraging people to build privacy in AI data. This could be the data sets for training AI or results of AI or the model itself. We're also encouraging trusted AI development as another track. And finally, whoever uses Filecoin in the context of AI is eligible for some prizes: first place, second place, and third place. So we're bringing all together $5,000 worth of prizes to give out to hackers. So please use your skills and bring on your best ideas to form a team and hack away. I'll be around in the Discord channel in the Filecoin zone to assist anyone. If I can't answer the question, I'll bring down someone who can. Have fun.
Awesome. What a great introduction. Yeah, again, I think that there will be some really cool things being built here, and there's some like pretty open-ended bounty tracks here, so you can kind of use your imagination. But if you need more ideas as well, you should go to the Hacker Pack, and I know that the Filecoin team have provided some ideas as well for cool projects. So thank you so much, Jenks.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Awesome. And we're moving swiftly on to the next bounty sponsor, who is the Solana team. So we have Cap here from the super team. Hi, how are you, Cap?
Hey, I hope everything can sound all good. We're currently in Dublin for their blockchain Ireland week, and
I was going to say,
little builder day.
You sound like you're in the pub. It sounds like a lot of fun.
We are. We're at the final day. I love a little builder day. The cool thing about Solana is a lot more about just building. It's always about culture. And they to connect with everyone. So today we've had like a really cool day with the builders here. Had like a nice little brunch. Went to the Guinness Museum.
Lovely.
Now we're here at Brewdog. But I want to talk a little bit around what we're able to put on here for the Encode Club. AI hack on Web3. So it's something that's pretty cool. It's been really awesome to see tons of Solana developers come through the boot camps that you guys have been doing. These hackathons are a perfect way to go to that next step. And that's overall the kind of theme here, is that the bounty is very open. What we want you to be able to do is figure out a very cool angle that you are passionate about, that you want to be able to build beyond just this hackathon itself. That's what we're really looking for, is somebody who can want to now be, okay, I'm going to want to turn this into a startup. I want to bring a team together. I want to really go forward. And it could be across all the different amazing industries that Web3 is going to be able to tap into. And AI can really solve a lot of key problems in this. It could be anything from deep in consumer apps, gaming, DeFi and payments infrastructure, RWAs. Like, there's so much to be able to explore. So we wanted to create this opportunity. If you're building that on Solana, here you go. This is your opportunity to be able to do it. We've got full tech support Q, who has been one of our regional leads for a very long while. Amazing dev role to be there to answer any technical questions in the Discord. to be able to support you. And then post this hackathon, there's tons of other hackathons to be able to get involved in as well, where there's tens of thousands up for grabs and big Colosseum ones that they do. But it's also really cool accelerators that you can be a part of as well. And we're here to be able to offer that full support. If you're in one of our Super Team regions, so Super Team is the kind of fork of the Solana Foundation. It's a local hub initiative set up to allow any tangible support in real life areas for you. So if you're in one of these regions, then I highly recommend you reach out to everyone there. You can check them all out on superteam.fun to be able to see all the different regions that they are. Put that in there. And it's like full teams. So I run the UK. We have a team in India, Vietnam, Mexico, Nigeria, Germany, Philippines, Malaysia, Brazil, and we're constantly launching more and more. And so keep up to date on the Twitter to see everything that's going on there. But this is your chance to be able to build something cool on Solana using AI. And if you're in a Super Team region, make sure to reach out so you can connect with builders in real life as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really loving the background music as well, coming in there, some ABBA to really set the scene. I love that. It feels very Solana Super Team. So we love to see it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cap. See you soon.
Good luck, builders.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, that was a really, really fun introduction to the Solana bounties. And now we're moving on to the Nethermind bounties. So we'll be hearing a bit more about these very, very soon, as we're just waiting for the team representative to join the stage. In the meantime, do make sure to head over to the Discord server and make sure to navigate to the Web3 AI channel. You have to click on channels and roles and select the Web3 AI Hackathon, and you will see all the different sponsor zones where you'll be able to ask your questions. When you do ask your questions, please make sure to tag the relevant team. So for example, for Solana, that would be tagging the Solana team. For Filecoin, it would be the Filecoin team, Nethermind, the Nethermind team, etc. Let's see if the Nethermind representative is joining. If not, we can just maybe go through them. Oh, there she is. Okay. Hi, Jelilat. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. I'm Jelilat from Nethermind team. I'm really excited to be here. So I'm just going to be going through our prizes for this hackathon. So we have 2 prizes, mainly for StarkNet, which is one of our major partners in Nethermind. So the first prize is on best integration of AI in transaction simulation. So transaction simulation is for like StarkNet and blockchain generally is one of the ways we used to know what will happen for each transaction on chain before sending it on chain, right? So for users, normal users that want to send transactions on chain, they need to know how the transaction is, what they are signing off before like signing it on chain, right? Besides just signing blindly without knowing what they are signing. So we want you to be creative to create a way whereby we can tell users this is what you are signing before sending it on chain. A user-friendly way or normal English whereby they can know what they are signing, what they are doing before, spending their money or getting hacked on chain. So come up with creative ways to use AI to make this very seamless for users. And the second one, which is best use of AI in on-chain games. So we have a few ideas which the team has shared. And if you check the Hacker Pack, you should see a couple of ideas. But I want you to be creative about like how we can integrate AI into on-chain games. So this could be NPCs or creating an AI gaming partner. So imagine you have a game and you get to play with AI that can learn your strategy, AI that can play with you just like a normal human being play with you. So we need you to like come up with very interesting strategies we can integrate AI into on-chain games. So those are like the two major bounties we are given a prize for. You have the freedom to like come up with any ideas you have. Besides, you might come up with something interesting besides some of the ideas we've shared earlier as well. And if you have any question, sure, the team, Nethermind team, will be available to answer your questions as well. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll also be posting just now the hacker pack for this hackathon, where you can find some more information, but also some project ideas and more just like resources for all the different sponsors and bounties. And we'll actually be hearing more from the Nethermind team just in a few minutes, because Jelilat will be joining again to kick off with our first workshop. So I'll see you very, very soon. And thank you so much for introducing the bounties. Thank you. Bye. Awesome. And now we're moving on to the Internet Computer Bounties, or the ICP. So we're going to invite Jennifer from Dfinity to join the stage. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Hello, Clara. How are you? I'm doing great.
Good.
Awesome.
Love to hear it.
Awesome. Hi, guys. I'm Jennifer from Internet Computer, or ICP. So ICP is a decentralized crypto cloud. And what that ultimately means is ICP itself is a layer 1 blockchain, but also ICP canisters smart contracts can communicate with Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. For example, you can actually have an Ethereum or Bitcoin address directly in ICP canister smart contract. And because ICP canister smart contracts, they can run up to like 4 gigs of heap memory. You can actually do a lot with on-chain AI. You could actually do inferencing. Also, we have like 400 gigs of stable memory. So there's also a huge storage component as well. So we actually have about 20 teams already building different decentralized AI products already. For example, anything from AI attestations to providing some sort of payment rails for AI projects. Such as certain monetization models. So we're giving a couple of prizes so we're giving a first place winner prize we're giving 2 of these $5,000 of ICP, and also there's an opportunity to apply for a developer grant. And then also we're also giving out one $5,000 one $5,000 in ICP as well, and there's or one $5,000 Dfinity developer grant as well. I would say DAI is very much at the paradigm. It's a very new subset of blockchains. So come up with your crazy ideas. They might not be too crazy after all, and we would love to hear them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I'm super excited for this one as well. And for everyone who is interested in taking their project that extra bit further beyond just a hackathon project, I think the Dfinity developer grant is just such an amazing opportunity there. So I'm excited. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Awesome. Speak to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Great. Bye.
Awesome. And now we are joined by Talib. Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's awesome around here. How about you?
Yeah. Feel free to talk a bit more about bringing artificial intelligence to Cytria.
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. My name is Talib. I'm a protocol engineer, and right now I'm mostly focused on developers on Strea. So Strea is basically a layer 2 solution, a ZK rollup on top of Bitcoin. So what this means is we're building a chain that settles and that's getting verified on Bitcoin, which is quite new for the Bitcoin space. And it's been a dream for many of developers on Bitcoin to do so. And we're super excited to launch the project. And like in right now we're in the heavy development, and in a week or in 2 weeks we will launch the DevNet. But right now you're also able to launch the project and also test on yourself and then see it. So in this hackathon, what we expect from you is like pick any kind of idea from basic to crazy, whatever you call it, because like at the end it may not be that crazy at all, as said. So we want you to pick a cool idea that you come up with and make it interacting with the chain, and then so that we can see it. And if you can do this at the end, like we have a prize pool of $2,500, and we're going to split this among the successful projects. And if we see a cool solution, for example, a generative AI NFT marketplace, or like an anti-money laundering AI solution, and we can even push you further with some additional grants as well. And just feel free to think about ideas, trying to come up with solutions, trying to find solutions, and so that we will also be really, really happy to see what's getting built on Stria.
Thank you so much, Talib. Really nice, really interesting, and yeah, looking forward to it.
Many thanks and good luck.
Thank you. Cool. And now we are moving on swiftly again. We have so many bounties to go through. It's a very nice thing to experience. And now we're joined by Sane. Hi, Sane. How are you?
Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm great. Excited to be here with everyone. And yeah, can't wait to see what everyone builds. I got excited just listening to everyone else's bounties here. So I think it's going to be fun. I work on the ML team at Spectral, and we're building this on-chain agent protocol. And for the hackathon, we've done something which I think is pretty cool. We built a custom version of our app with a bunch of functionality that isn't public yet. And the bounties are all related to building agents with this platform. So if you've seen OpenAI's GPT builder or Hugging Face's Hugging Chat interface, where you can select a model, give that model access to a bunch of tools, build some RAG database, and then deploy the agent there, we have something very similar, but with a bunch of blockchain tools already built there. So you can interact with arbitrary contracts. At the application layer, we have things like Uniswap ready, and we'll handle a lot of the kind of harder work automatically for you, which is fun. So yeah, we have this list of a bunch of potential agents, but really want to hear your ideas as well. All these bounties will be judged on functionality, creativity, and yeah, can't wait to see what you all build. I think this is, the most exciting space to be in and most interesting data set in the world, in my mind, for sure. We'll be hyper responsive in Discord. So if you have any questions, we'll either answer them or point you to someone who can. And yeah, good luck.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited as well. And it's so amazing, such an amazing opportunity for everyone to explore, different ideas that they have, explore different kinds of technology, and just really get that hands-on support. So thank you to the whole Spectral team for making that possible. Super excited. Awesome. Okay. Thank you, Sane. And thank you to the whole Spectral team. Now we are moving on to our final bounties. So we're going to be joined by Levi from the KubeHive team, who's joining the stage as we speak. Hi, Levi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All good. All good. Feel free to share a bit more about the KubeHive bounties.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I'm Levi from KubeHive. And KubeHive is basically it's a marketplace for compute. You have clients and compute nodes, buyers and sellers. They're matched in the marketplace. Then if the two sides agree, they form a deal. The deal is posted on chain. The compute nodes computes the result. The result's posted on chain, and then there's an arbitrary mediation process that is also posted on chain. And when I say posted on chain, I mean put onto IPFS, and then the IPFS CID is put on chain, which basically means we just end up with a sequence of IPFS CIDs on chain, which act for us as pointers to off-chain data. And you can basically run any arbitrary Docker WASM container off chain and get get the results into an IPFS ID and get that on chain, and so it's like very flexible in that manner. So you can basically run any kind of computation that you want, including AI, any kind of models that you want to run, basically. And so, yeah, our bounty is basically centered around, public goods computing and scientific discovery. So really briefly, for those of you who are familiar with SETI at home or Folding at Home or BOINC, these are in existence. I'm actually right now I'm in Geneva at the BOINC workshop. Earlier yesterday I was at CERN, which is where the BOINC workshop was. So a big fan of scientific distributed computing. And so if anybody here is interested in, basically tokenization of latent computing power, which is basically, can you find computations that nobody's willing to pay for now, but that somebody might be willing to pay for later? Like think about finding the cure for cancer, but you don't have money, you don't have compute. Get a bunch of nodes to do it for free, keep a track record of it on chain, and then you can reward retroactively later on. So this is the type of things that we're having a bounty for. If you have any questions, please ask on the Discord or join our Discord. My background is in mostly in game theory and mechanism design for distributed computing. I also have a strong background in like data science, machine learning, and so on. If you have any kind of like more technical questions about like Docker or IPFS and so on, that's stuff that my team can answer. So feel free to ping me or anyone on my team, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, and thank you for for providing this really cool challenge for people. I'm super excited. And I hope you enjoy Geneva. That sounds really fun.
Yes. First time here. Yeah, it's beautiful. I've been in Switzerland a few times, but only on the German side. So this is my first time on the French side. Yeah.
Well, I'll be interested to hear which side you prefer then.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't want to make anybody angry, so I'll keep my opinions to myself.
It sounds like
private, not on the recorded channel.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's very fair. Well, thank you so much once again, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. And see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cool, amazing. And now we've gone through all of the bounties. I'm aware that we're running a little bit over time just because there's so many amazing prizes to go through. So I'm going to kind of speed through a little bit the final few practical bits, and then we're going to be hearing from the Nethermind team and kick off with our first workshop. Just some really quick FAQs about the hackathon. Where can you find resources? The Hacker Pack. So the Hacker Pack that I've sent previously, I'm going to send it again in the chat. It's basically your go-to place. If you need to find a workshop recording, it's in the Hacker Pack. If you need to find the links, it's in the Hacker Pack. If you need to find information about the bounties or developer resources or links to the Discord server, anything, just go to the Hacker Pack. It will be there. You can obviously always contact the Encode Club team as well if you need anything, but your best bet is probably the Hacker Pack. Do you need a team? No, you can build solo if you want to, but you can also, of course, find teammates throughout the course of the hack. There will be technical support. We've already gone through that. The main communication place will be Discord, so make sure to join the Discord server and navigate to the Web3 AI channel. You can enter an existing project as long as you show that you've introduced significant feature improvements and that it addresses at least one of the sponsor bounties. That's really important. And when you submit, you will only be judged on the part of the project that was built throughout the 4 weeks of the hackathon. And anyone can take part. And I can see, Alex, that you can't hear me. Please do let me know if there's anyone else in the chat who is having issues hearing what I'm saying. But if not, I mean, yeah, for Alex, I'm just going to type out the answer. But maybe you guys can help in the chat as well. Okay, it sounds like I'm audible. But yeah, Okay. Good. We're gonna move on then, and I'll be replying to Alex in a second in writing. Now for some key dates. Obviously today is the launch event, and in just a few minutes we'll be heading straight into the beginners workshop all about getting started with AI on StarkNet. For the next 2 weeks there will be workshops, and then on June 30th is the submission deadline. This will be midnight your local time zone, and the link to submit you can find in the Hacker Pack. On Thursday, July 18th is when we will be going through the finale and prize giving ceremony. So make sure to join that. I'll definitely be there, and wishing you all good luck. I can see now that the Hacker Pack link is not working for someone in the chat. Please let me know if anyone else is having that issue. But if it's not working for you, please feel free to send me a DM. Oh, it seems like it's not working for people. Okay, let me try another way of doing this. Let me see. Oh, it's working now. Okay. Seems like it's working for some people and for some people not. If it's not working for you, then feel free to reach out on the Discord or via email, and we will try to sort that. Okay, and now going through, you can just see all the workshops that we have coming up. So on Monday, we'll be hearing from the Filecoin team. Tuesday, Galadriel. There's 2 workshops on Tuesday, so make sure to just stick around. And then we're going 2 workshops again on Wednesday from the ICP team. And then on Thursday, we'll be hearing about Solana SVM. Then there's even more workshops the week after. On the Monday, we'll be hearing from Spectral, and then Tuesday, Citria. So some really, really exciting content there. And like I said, everything will be recorded and uploaded to the Hacker Pack afterwards. So super exciting. The final few steps now is to, of course, join the Discord if you haven't already. Find some teammates, and I want you all to check out the team formation dashboard that the QR code links to. Basically, you can contact people on here, and they're all looking for teammates. So the kind of name on the card is their Discord handle, so you can just write them a message being like, hey, I saw that you're looking for a teammate. Please, let's team up, or whatever it is that you want to say. If you are looking for a teammate and you want to show up on this team formation dashboard for other people to contact you, just fill out this form that I'm sending now in the chat. Cool. And any questions, please just post them on the dedicated Discord channel. So like I said, the main place of communication will be the Discord channel. So please make sure to stay in the loop on there. Okay, I think that is everything from me. That was a lot of information. So I'm kind of sick of hearing my own voice at this point. So I am going to just leave it to the Nethermind team to talk for a sec so that you guys can get a break from me. Like I said, if you have any questions, do feel free to reach out. We're always happy to help. But yeah, I am going to hand over the stage to Jelilat here, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.
Great. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here again. My name is Jelilat, and I'm currently the explorations lead at Nethermind. And I'll be taking you through like a beginner's level of like what StarkNet is, because the bounties that we are giving for this hackathon is majorly on StarkNet. And at the end, I'll try to like go through some of the ideas that we shared and just a little insight into it for the hackathon as well. So yeah, For this talk, I'm going to be introducing StarkNet. I'm going to be giving like I'm going to give an insight into writing and deploying StarkNet contracts and going deep into AI and StarkNet. I don't know if there's anyone here who has heard about StarkNet or maybe deployed a contract of StarkNet or used StarkNet before. You can drop it in the chat. I'm going to try to. I'm not sure if I can do this very easily, but if you've like learned about StarkNet, you can also like drop it in the chat. Are you a smart contract developer or maybe a user of StarkNet? So yeah, a quick intro into StarkNet. So yeah, StarkNet is a ZK rollup or validity rollup for Ethereum. So StarkNet is a layer 2 blockchain that makes any dApp like easily scale, achieve mass computation scale without compromising Ethereum's complexity and security. So StarkNet is a ZK rollup and L2 built on top of Ethereum. Although it is an L2, its security depends on Ethereum. So you still have the kind of experience that you have with Ethereum. But the difference now is that StarkNet is more scalable than Ethereum is. It's cheaper, it's faster, and everything else. So yeah, this is just an insight into how the StarkNet transaction goes. So like you send the transaction on chain, and we have the sequencer for StarkNet. So the sequencer, you can call the sequencer like what kind of arranges the block on StarkNet. So the sequencer is what on StarkNet, what the sequencer does is the one that computes all the transaction that is going into a block. So it sequences, it puts all the transaction that is sent on chain onto StarkNet, it puts them into a block, and it sends it, before sending it to the prover, right, it checks whether this transaction is valid. So for instance, you want to transfer Ether from your wallet to another wallet. It needs to check whether you have enough Ether in your wallet. If you don't have enough Ether in your wallet, transaction validation fails and the transaction is rejected, right? But if the transaction, maybe you have enough Ether in your wallet, you want to sell to someone, for instance, the transaction is successful, like succeeds. So the transaction is received by the sequencer. After the sequencer receives the transaction and it computes all the transactions sent and puts it in a block, it sends it to the prover. So the thing that the ZK rollup does is that instead of like batching, sending all the transactions, the way it's able to achieve a cheaper transaction is that once you send all of those transactions to the sequencer, it creates a proof of the transaction using ZK zero-knowledge cryptography. The prover creates a proof of this transaction, right? It checks whether the transaction can be executed. So beyond just checking whether, you have enough Ether in your wallet or something, it checks whether you can execute the transaction. So for instance, let's say in the smart contracts, the smart contracts developer says you can transfer Ether to a zero address. You can transfer a particular ERC20 token to a zero address, for instance. So the prover checks this and it's valid. It checks whether the transaction can be sent, and if transaction can be approved, it is sent to the verifier. It proves this transaction, rather, all the transactions that has been put in the block, and the verifier verifies the transaction, whether this transaction is valid or not, right? So if the verifier verifies the transaction, that the transaction is valid, then it sends it to Ethereum, that is the L1, right? So if the transaction is sent to the prover and the prover verifies the transaction is valid, it's accepted on L2, which is on StarkNet, and then it's accepted on L1, which is Ethereum, right? So the next thing is I just wanted to go through how transaction goes on StarkNet. This is most of what I have explained. You send a transaction. If the transaction is valid, it says the transaction is received. The final settler is received by the sequencer. The sequencer checks whether the transaction is valid or not valid. If it is not valid, it rejects the transaction. If it is valid, it receives the transaction and sends to the prover, right? So the prover proves the transaction. If the transaction is properly proved, it's accepted on L2, and if it cannot be proved, it is reverted to your wallet, right? And it is sent back to L1. L1 is Ethereum, while the L2 is StarkNet. So StarkNet programming language. It's for Ethereum, for instance, when you want to write smart contracts on Ethereum, you use Solidity, or with StarkNet, you use Cairo to write the smart contract on StarkNet. So Cairo is the programming language for StarkNet. So writing and deploying StarkNet contracts. So let's go into Cairo a bit. Cairo is also known as Cairo Lang, is a smart contract language for StarkNet. So it lets you write provable programs without needing to understand the underlying Ziggy concept. So I said earlier that StarkNet uses zero-knowledge cryptography to prove that all the transactions in this block is actually valid before sending it onto L1, which is Ethereum. So Cairo makes this very easy for you to write small smart contracts without needing to know how circuit works or how ZK zero-knowledge cryptography works and all of that, right? So Cairo is very similar to Rust. So if you're a smart contract developer or if you're a developer that understands how Rust works, you can easily jump into Cairo Lang very easily, right? So the next thing I wanted to touch on is like getting started with StarkNet. If you are going to be hacking for this bounty, you need to understand a few things like getting started, StarkNet wallet. So let me just click on this link. There are different wallets on StarkNet. You have Bravos, you have Argent wallets. Those are the two major StarkNet wallets. You can download them and add it to your browser. So there's a link in the Hacker Pack for you to have access to all of this. So let me just check if, sorry. I'll try to answer questions maybe at the end. So we have the wallets on StarkNet and we have the faucets. So if you want to hack for the hackathon and you need like a token, like a Sequoia ETH, you can get Sequoia ETH from here. Probably, maybe I should drop this in the chat, but I'll try to make sure it's in the Hacker Pack. So you can try to download StarkNet wallets. So you just drop that in the chat. And if you're trying to learn how Cairo works, like you're trying to just learn Cairo as a programming language, there is the Cairo book. The Cairo book is just like the Rust. If you're familiar with Rust and you've learned the Rust book, it contains like the basics to getting started on Cairo, like how to install Cairo, the hello world on Cairo. Like it takes you from like zero to like building smart contracts in Cairo, and it's very easy to follow. So if you want to get started with StarkNet, you can also check out the Cairo book for writing Cairo smart contracts. I'm going to try to drop that in the chat as well. But it's actually in the Hacker Pack, I believe. And if you are familiar with Solidity, I don't know if there's anyone familiar with writing smart contracts. I want to assume like a lot of people are familiar with writing smart contracts with Solidity. You may have learned about the Remix plugin. So the Remix plugin is majorly created for Solidity. It makes it very easy for you to write Solidity smart contracts. But now we've created a StarkNet Remix plugin for you to write smart contracts in Cairo, right? So if you have like the remix.ethereum.org and you've been writing smart contracts in Solidity with Remix, so what you just have to do is to load your Remix and go to the plugin manager, search for StarkNet, and you see this plugin, StarkNet plugin. All you have to do is to activate the plugin. I've already activated it, so if I click on this, it will just deactivate it. So you have to just click on the StarkNet plugin and it will automatically show up here in your browser. And if you have the StarkNet tab, so yeah, if you add this to the StarkNet to Remix plugin, you should see a Cairo Scab example, right? An hello world example that actually gets started with StarkNet. So I'm going to just give a walkthrough of how the StarkNet Remix plugin works. So here is like an example Cairo file that you automatically get when you have the Remix plugin to your Remix, the StarkNet Remix plugin to Remix. So you have like a balance.cairo, this is just a simple Cairo contract, lib.cairo and stuff like that. So you come to, if you have like maybe written your smart contract and you want to compile the smart contract, you can come here to StarkNet and you have the compile section, you have to compile the project, and this will automatically compile this will help you compile your smart contracts, right? It might take a few seconds depending on maybe your network and a few things. It might take a few seconds. Then you get to declare, you can declare the smart contract. The thing about the way StarkNet works, unlike Ethereum, whereby when you write a smart contract, just deploy immediately, is that StarkNet has, for StarkNet, you can declare the contract before deploying. So what declaration does, for declaration means StarkNet uses account abstraction, and when you declare the smart contract, that means anybody can use your smart contract. So when you declare a smart contract, you generate a class hash, right? So let's say maybe I declare the smart contract, and what the smart contract does is like an on-chain game, right? And when the owner of the smart contract can decide to deploy the contract and get the contract address, when you declare, you get a class hash, or when you deploy, you get a contract address for StarkNet, right? So for when you declare, let's say maybe I declare a gaming smart contract and I deploy the smart contract to an address. You as a developer or somebody else, you feel like, oh, I don't want to use this contract address to interact with this person's smart contract. I could also deploy my own smart contract that does the same thing as your smart contract by pointing it to your class hash. So the class hash is just like a public address for the code, whereby anybody can deploy the same code you declared, like your contract address, same code you deploy to your contract address, and that person can deploy it by just linking to your class hash, right? So I just need someone write an amazing maybe game or an amazing stuff on StarkNet, or maybe a meme coin, and I want to also deploy the same meme coin, right? And the only thing I want to do is to just change the name of the token. Let's say maybe an ERC20 token, right? And I want to change the name of my own ERC20 token. The only thing I'll just do is that in the constructor here, I'll just change the name, I'll put my own name of my own token, and let's say the decimals of my own token. And I'm going to deploy the same meme token someone deployed with their class hash, but I'll just change the name and the decimal. So that's the interesting thing about StarkNet. So if someone declares a class hash, you don't need to ask them that, oh, what's the code of your smart contract? I also want to get the code before I can deploy the same thing this person deployed. I can use their own class hash and deploy another meme coin and just change the name and or maybe the decimals. So that's something very interesting you can also explore with StarkNet. You can deploy an already existing contract again. So yeah, once you declare the class hash, then you can go ahead to deploy. So you can add a constructor. The constructor could be 2, 3. If it's an ERC20 token, for instance, the constructor will ask you to add the name of the token and the decimals of the token. But yeah, it's just asking for an integer. So I'm going to deploy this. Another thing you should note here is that we have like a devnet in the Remix IDE, and we have test accounts that you can use, different test accounts you can use to declare, deploy, and all of that. And if you decide that you want to use you don't want to use a remote, you want to use your wallet, you can connect to Bravos or Agents or any of the wallets. This is like the interface for the StarkNet wallet. So you can deploy, this is just a Sepolia testnet. And this is how the wallet looks like. This is Bravos and this is Agents. So you can decide to connect to the wallet, or you can, for testing purposes, sticking with the remote devnet that we already have in the the StarkNet plugin. Just wanted to mention again that the Nethermind team was the one who created this Remix plugin to make it very easy for people to write and deploy Cairo smart contracts. So if you have any issues, you can also reach out when using the plugin, and we should be able to like attend to any issues you have. Just checking the chat. Okay. So, okay, I saw a question now. I just wanted to mention that the StarkNet wallet address is quite different from your EVM wallet address. So you need to create this wallet. You can use Bravos or Agents, like there are a couple of wallets, or you can use StarkNet, MetaMask Snap. MetaMask Snap allows you to use MetaMask, but you had the MetaMask Snap to, if I don't have MetaMask extension here, but if I have it, I can create a StarkNet account using the MetaMask Snap as well. So if you already have MetaMask and you don't want to install Agents or Bravos, you can also use that. So we have a couple of wallets here as well, MetaMask. So you can check this link of wallets for you to see a couple of wallets. I think I already dropped it in chat. So you can see different wallets we have for StarkNet. And if you want to stick with MetaMask, you can use the MetaMask Snap as well to install the StarkNet and get a StarkNet address, and you can use it for the faucets. Okay, so another thing I wanted to mention is the Block Explorer. So for a lot of us are familiar with Etherscan for Ethereum. We use Etherscan. We use Etherscan a lot for Ethereum. So if you're familiar with Etherscan, then you need a Blocks Explorer. So the Voyager Block Explorer is built for StarkNet, also built by the Nethermind team as well. So if you have any issues, feel free to reach out and we should be able to help with that. So the Voyager StarkNet Block Explorer, you can view transactions, these are the latest transaction, latest blocks. You can check out any transaction details, contracts. So another thing to note is that StarkNet wallet addresses, they are called contracts as well, but they are called account contracts. So the way you could see this is that for Ethereum, I'm just going to, okay, I can type here. Okay, let me try this. So for Ethereum, you have the accounts, your wallet account, and you have smart contracts. So for StarkNet, we call both of them contracts, but the only thing is that for StarkNet, you have the account contracts and smart contracts. So if you're familiar with like Ethereum and you're confused like what's happening here, so that's what's happening. For Ethereum, we have accounts, wallet accounts, and smart contracts. But for StarkNet, we both call them contracts, but you call them the account contract and the smart contract. So that is why when you check Voyager, you see contracts as well here. So these contracts are both contract addresses, normal wallet addresses, and smart contracts. So this is like a transaction on Voyager. So you can get a block number. Okay, this is a pending transaction. You can get details of the transaction and all of that, right? So in case you need to check transaction status and check some things on chain, you can check out Voyager, which is the Nethermind StarkNet Block Explorer, which is so yeah, what happens from L1 to L2 is, sorry, from L2 to L1, what happens is once the sequencer puts all the transactions in a block, right? The sequencer is what composes the block. People are sending transaction, and the sequencer is taking it one by one, sequencing all the transaction one by one that is going to go into a block, right? So once let me just make it a slideshow so it's bigger. So once the sequencer validates the transaction, validates all the transaction, the ones that are not valid are sent back. The ones that are valid, the ones that are not valid are rejected. The ones that are valid are received and passed for execution, right? So what the prover does is that StarkNet has a transaction trace. So it doesn't trace the transaction, it doesn't allow for transactions, it allows for sequential transactions. So each of those sequential transactions has a trace. So all of the transactions in the block has a trace for all of the transaction. And we also have Cairo makes it easy for you to create zero knowledge proofs for all of the transactions that are called on StarkNet, which is the L2, right? So what the prover does is that the prover proves the transaction, all of the transaction that has been accepted by the sequencer. The prover proves all of this transaction and creates a validity proof for all of the transactions in the chain, right? So what is sent to L1 after proving the transaction is the state root, of the transaction. So there's a state root that is generated for the proof that, okay, and the state root is generated and all of this data is generated and is sent to a smart contract on Ethereum, which is the L1. So the smart contract on Ethereum validates all of these things, all of the transactions that has been proved on L2, which is StarkNet, and it is sent on chain on Ethereum. So I don't know if this answers the question. Okay, thank you. So I just quickly answered the question. So let's just move on. Okay, so I've touched on the block explorer for StarkNet. So if you want to check out certain transactions, you can use Voyager, the block explorer. And so the last thing I wanted to touch on is the AI on StarkNet, right? AI on StarkNet, which is what, I'm going to touch on the bounties that we created and some of the ideas that we shared. So AI on StarkNet, and the way I see AI for blockchain is that there are a lot of interesting use cases. The way I see AI for StarkNet, for blockchain generally, is that there are a lot of interesting use cases where we could use AI on chain, right? So I wanted to touch on different use cases and stuff for AI. There are a lot of use cases, but unfortunately for this call, I'll be touching on the two major use cases we wanted to look out for in the bounties, which is gaming and transaction simulation. So so one thing is the smart contracts. The way they are created, they are designed to be predictable, right? Which is if I say maybe 2 + 2 has to be 4, right? Because that is it. It has to be predictable. Things have to happen the way they should. If they don't happen the way they should, then something is wrong, right? So while this predictability is very nice for smart contracts, like when you have DeFi or you have maybe some social protocol or stuff like that, maybe predictability is nice for them. But when it comes for on-chain games, predictability is not necessarily always nice, right? Because with games, you want to have something very dynamic. I don't want to play a game whereby when I play this game, it's the same thing over and over again. You just get bored and get tired, right? So that's why when you finish a game, you finish all the, that's the reason why there are levels in games. And at some point when you finish all the levels, you're probably going to get bored and feel like, okay, I don't want to play this game again. I need something new, right? So on-chain games need dynamic and varied interactions. And when you have predictability, it might be very boring for the gameplay. And this is where AI comes in, right? So we want you to come up with ideas whereby you're able to build dynamic on-chain games with AI, right? So there are different ways you could look at this. There are different approaches you could use to build on-chain games with StarkNet and AI. So you could see this as an off-chain AI integration. And this is where NPC characters. So we have NPCs, like non-player characters on games, right? If you have these NPCs, and they are able to, it could be the NPCs whereby when you're moving on in a game, you're chatting with the NPC. Instead of the NPC telling you the same thing over and over again, maybe the NPC just said, hello, hi, Clara, welcome. So instead of saying, hi, Clara, welcome all the time, the NPC could change it. Maybe the NPC have realized that this is the third time you are trying to play this level. You could be like, hey, Clara, you're here again. How is it like? You could like change the way you interact with the player to adapt to like the actions of this player, the things that they've said in the past, the things that they've done. So come up with like some very interesting off-chain AI. It could be off-chain AI integration with NPCs, because you might not necessarily pass NPCs on chain, right? And this is like one interesting use case you could explore. And that thing is an on-chain AI integration. There are some data you need to send on chain, like maybe players that are playing with each other and you have the data on chain. So you could explore on chain AI integration with intelligent AI players. So you are playing with an on-chain AI player, right? So you don't want the player to, if you are playing tic-tac-toe, for instance, you don't want the player to always place a piece. Like every time you play, you know the player is going to place a piece, maybe at the edge or at the top, right? It's like a boring thing. You have predicted the player's move, and it's the same thing over and over again. So we want maybe a chess game or a dynamic chess game on chain, or a dynamic tic-tac-toe game on chain. So you could explore like creating something very dynamic that you can't predict how the game is going to go. So that's another thing the way you could integrate AI into like on-chain games on StarkNet. One way to do this is you could explore Giza Tech. So Giza Tech has ZKML solution where you can create an ML and you can compile it into Cairo code. Like, so I think their Orion software, like you can read more on how that could be adapted into Cairo Lang. Yeah, I could share the PowerPoint after the session. I don't know, probably Clara will tell me how to get that across to the Apple.
Yeah, you can just send it to me and I will share it as we share the recording tomorrow.
Okay, great. Okay, so we could explore building on-chain and off-chain integration. So another thing I wanted to touch on is transaction simulation. With blockchain transactions, right, definitely they are reversible, right? And so before sending transactions on chain, you want to know what is going to happen. Before I transfer a token or approve a transaction, I want to know what I'm approving. So, I mean, I don't end up losing all of my tokens or losing everything, right? So before sending transactions on chain, it is very important for users to know what they are signing, right? And there are sometimes there especially with smart contracts, that a smart contract can call on that smart contract and call on that smart contract, whereby in between those smart contract calls, you don't even know what's happening. You can see an approved transaction that is not actually an approved transaction. It's just a fake approved transaction that is doing something else underneath that you don't even know about, right? So like, well, luckily StarkNet makes it very possible for us to simulate transactions on chain, like for us to know that if I send a transaction on chain, this is how it's going to, before sending the transaction, right? We know how it's going to look like. I'm trying to, okay, so this is one of the things that the Nethermind team built as well, which is the RPC request builder. So I'm going to, there are different RPC endpoints for StarkNet. This is a StarkNet simulate transaction that makes it easy for you to simulate transactions on chain. So before you send a transaction on chain, you're able to simulate, okay, what is going to happen with this transaction? This is what was going to happen, and that's what's going to happen. So now this is an example of a simulated transaction, right? So if I see this transaction, I can see executing invocation. This is what's going to happen. I mean, this is going to call this, and this is going to call this. I mean, it's just a lot of gibberish, right? These are the calls in the transaction. This is the contract address. And so this is like a lot of gibberish, right? And I don't expect a normal user to understand all of this that's going to happen, right? But this is telling us everything that's going to happen on chain before I send this thing on chain, right? So one thing that we want you to be creative with and also explore is how AI can help translating all of this complex simulation data into something user-friendly. I mean, all of this gibberish into something user-friendly. This is just a transaction trace. The trace is just showing everything that is happening with this transaction, from all the hidden contract it's calling and what's going to happen if he calls all of them. So like I just want to show you an example of a transaction trace somewhere. So yes, there's an example of a transaction trace that we have decoded, right? We've decoded this transaction trace. This is for an executed transaction on Voyager. And we've decoded the transaction trace to tell you, oh, this wallet is calling the smart contracts, which is a Stark token. So this Stark token is calling a Kubo protocol. If he calls a Kubo protocol, he's trying to transfer, he's calling all of these functions. You are getting all the details of the function he's calling, the lock, swap, withdraw, transfer. So this is a trace of all of the transaction. I mean, you can convert this gibberish. What we just did is we converted this gibberish into something like this, right? This is a trace and something that is kind of, I mean, a developer can understand this, right? But beyond all of this gibberish, right? I feel like this is still gibberish to some extent to some users, right? I mean, transfer, withdraw, swap, and there's like recipient amount. So like, is there a way you can use AI to make this very user-friendly so that before you user signs the transaction, he knows that, okay, when you sign this transaction, your account balance or your wallet's account balance is going to go from 10 ETH to 0 ETH, right? Don't sign this transaction. If you confirm this transaction or approve this signature, this is what's going to happen. So we want you to be creative and come up with AI ways whereby you can simulate transaction and create something very easy for users to understand before sending transactions on chain. So other ways you can use AI, I just wanted to mention DeFi trading strategy, security. I see security because, I mean, you could write smart contracts sometimes and you don't notice the bugs in it. And you pass it into an AI and AI can see the bug you're missing, right? So, I mean, there are many ways you could explore AI, but just wanted to touch on these two very important parts, which is part of the bounties we are given prizes for. Another thing I wanted to mention again is the Nethermind, in collaboration with StarkNet, we're also giving about like 50K to 200K grants. A minimum of 50K grant to builders. So if you feel like you build something in StarkNet or you want to, maybe you can build something interesting during this hackathon, who knows, and you would like to move on post-hackathon to maybe funding the projects and getting like support from Nethermind, we are giving like 50K grants to, a minimum of 50K grants, or 50K to 200K grants to builders. For bidding on StarkNet as well. So that's another thing if you like to explore that. And we also give like monthly grants, like of 30K Stark to builders as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to touch on. Thank you very much. You can follow Nethermind on social media. Nethermind Twitter. Yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. That was really informative and straightforward and really easy to follow. So thank you for that. Are there any final questions in the chat before we kind of log off for today? It's been a long session for those of you who've been here since the start of the finale. So thank you everyone for sticking around. If there are any questions, yes, the best way to reach out is through the Discord. You can tag the Nethermind team in the dedicated Nethermind zone as well. Jelilat, I don't know if you have any other ways that you prefer questions to be asked, but...
Yeah, you can tag the Nethermind team. Make it easy for, like, even if I'm not there, someone else can respond very easily.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you have anything else to add, or?
Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, definitely tag Nethermind team and someone will be there to respond.
Cool, amazing. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And thank you once again, Jelilat, for an amazing session. It was really nice. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.